President Trump's announcement today about a new nominee for Secretary of Labor turned into a full-blown news conference. Topics ranged from ISIS to the election to the media, as we told you earlier. Joining me now is Cal Thomas, an author and syndicated columnist who's been covering Washington and writing about it for decades. Cal, so nice to have you on
Lauren.
set.
Nice to be with
really glad. What a news conference. Were you able to watch all of that?
I watched the whole thing. It was amazing. One of the most amazing news conferences I've ever seen.
Why?
Well, because I have rarely seen, going back to the days of Spiro Agnew, Nixon's vice president, any high official like this take on the media and try to hold them accountable. That's almost never done because the view is that the media are more powerful and they're going to be there long after the president, and they can, they can form the opinions of the people.
But he is being accused by the media, who have since been tweeting terrible things, that his administration is in chaos, and that is something that he is denying. Yet the National Security Advisor resigned, some cabinet picks have withdrawn. And is this an attempt by him to sort of rejigger what may actually be happening?
Well, every president has a problem with cabinet or other people. Barack Obama did, Bill Clinton did. There's always something because it's human nature. Human nature is what it is. But I think he made a good point that the Senate has been dragging its feet on confirming his full team. Now he's got a lot of people in there now. He said he has instructed his new Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, to start looking into who leaked some of this classified material because, as he correctly pointed out, that is a felony. And when you put that word felony out there, I think you put the fear of God into some of these people, and that's a good way to stop the leaks.
Right. These illegal leaks also, as you said, have happened in other administrations, and not a lot can be done about them.
Well, I think one of the reasons you're seeing this now, and I had an interview this week with the new Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos, who said she had already discovered 2 moles within the Department of Education, moles left over, deliberately planted by the Obama administration. Now, the Democrats have said that this is exactly what they're going to do. The president, after the election, started peppering the various federal agencies with people who are predisposed to his policies in order to undermine President Trump. That is unprecedented. That has never happened before in my knowledge in all my years in Washington. And if you're going to start tossing around the phrase un-American, as we've heard today, I think that's about as un-American as you can get.
Let's take a look at what President Donald Trump did tweet. He said the real scandal here is that classified information is illegally given out by intelligence like candy. Very un-American, as you had said. So what is the solution to that?
Well, I think that the Attorney General looking into this is helpful, but you've got to root out these people. You've got to find who they are. I asked Betsy DeVos how she's going to go after them. She said, well, we've identified them now, and we're going to render their power inoperative. So you may not be able to fire them, but you can move them to a place where they will not be as damaging. This is about America. This shouldn't be about Republicans or Democrats. But nobody can get along in this town anymore. We're all at each other's throats. It's horrible.
Constantly. It never
Worst
stops.
I've ever seen it.
We're talking to somebody tomorrow about all of the noise in Washington and how to actually find peace and calm during that time. One area that has heartened pro-life Catholics is Donald Trump's pro-life support. And another issue that we've talked about is assisted suicide. So we have all of these states now moving down this train of allowing assisted suicide to happen. 7, it looks like, will have it, 22 more. What can be done in your mind? You have been in Washington for a long time and have seen these fights play out.
Well, I think you have to look at how we got to where we are. Once you abandon one category of life as worthy of protection, in this case the unborn, all other categories of human life become a threat as well. It was G.K. Chesterton, the great Catholic theologian and commentator, who said, the danger when men stop believing in God is not that they'll believe in nothing, but that they'll believe in anything. And the late Bishop Fulton Sheen said, how do you define a football field? By its boundaries. And the point he made then, back in 1979, was that when you exceed boundaries, you get into trouble. God has placed boundaries on human life and many other categories for our protection. When you exceed them, you get into deep, deep water.
Thank you so much for joining us. Before we go, I just want to express our condolences about your wife, Charlotte Ray, who died on Saturday after a long illness. You were married for 51 years. You wrote such a moving tribute to her and said, love today is seen as a feeling, but real love is a commitment, a covenant, and that's why most of us take marriage vows instead of make promises. Is that what made your marriage so successful?
That and forgiveness. I think when you realize when you take someone else under your roof, you've doubled the number of sinners.
Okay. All right. I think we're going to have to leave it there. Cal Thomas, thank you so
Thank you,
much
Lauren.
for
Privilege.
joining us.
Privilege.